My friends, we're living through the greatest era of fake entrepreneurship right now. It's gotten so cool that everybody wants to be one, and it scares me. Listen, I was one. I'm benefiting from the popularity of entrepreneurship. That doesn't mean that I don't want to talk about all the perils when you try to be an entrepreneur when you're not. I want to remind this room that the 17th employee at Facebook made a lot more money than 99.99999% of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship on a pedestal is a very dangerous game. It's extremely lonely, it's extremely difficult, and the reality is, to be a true entrepreneur that's able to navigate successfully, you have to be in a position where you have a great relationship with the judgment. People struggle with judgment, especially from their friends and family. Judgment is the poison of our society, and it is accelerated where you have nowhere to hide. How many people here are employees? You work somewhere, raise your hand. Raise them, don't worry, raise them high. For everybody who just raised their hand, I think being an employee is phenomenal, and I'll tell you why. The best part of being an employee is you always have somebody else to blame. One of the reasons I know that we're living through the greatest era of entrepreneurship is because I get hundreds and thousands of DMs and messages, and I have meetings with entrepreneurs every day, and I am fascinated with their ability to spend the majority of our time together complaining or painting a picture of other people within their organization being at fault for their lack of success. Entrepreneurs, one more time, I apologize, hands in the air. Let me give you my best tidbit before I leave. 100% of the problems with your company is 100% your fault. When I tell you that there are 500 problems at VaynerMedia that I can think of right now, I can do that right now. They're all my fault because the people that are running those situations, I hired them. They may suck, but it's my responsibility to fire them and replace them. I'm also the one that hired them, or I hired the person that hired them. If you raise your hand and you're an entrepreneur, I promise you the quickest way to happiness and success is 100% blind accountability.
I want to go more on the offense, finding clients for custom music. And I know I need to be more consistent with social media, but if you were me, how would you find new clients that help generate revenue consistently in an industry that's more typically one-off licensing?
By being more consistent with content on social media.
Good answer.
Just the reason I just did that is I want everybody to replay what just happened. There's something very fascinating about either needing affirmation from somebody that you admire, repeating something to oneself. You know, the fact that you know the answer and you stated it in your question. Hey Gary, and now I know I need to stay consistent with more, right? That moment you and I just had is the single most important moment. Like, I want my team to cut that. I'm gonna put it on Instagram and TikTok. It is the most important moment, my friend. I am wildly simple. I say my stuff, I say it over and over again, but people don't hear it because they don't want to do the thing that I'm saying. It's funny that there was a fitness guy on, right? Like, everybody knows how to get into better shape. It is eat healthy and cleaner, right? And put in work in the gym. Literally, that's it. But we will fucking inject implants into our ass, drink ciders and vinegars, fucking take weird ass pills that we have no idea what the fuck they're about. I say every day right now that 98 to 99% of NFTs are going to zero. Nobody hears it. They're just looking to make $2,000 on a snail with a fucking liquor pipe in its mouth. Like nobody here. Like, I will say it 9,000 times, and when the market does crash, everyone's gonna be like, Gary, and I'm like, I fucking said 99% of this shit's going to zero every fucking day. I have sat here for 15 years saying, if you make content consistently at scale on the platforms that people are paying attention to, for you, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, it's just massively important. If you follow what I wrote in the Thank You Economy 100 years ago, if you reply to everybody that's talking about music jingles and music on Twitter and just join the conversation, literally search, music and like jingles and like, whatever, your terms to your business. And you just sit there for 2 hours and say, hey, I know something about that. You're using the wrong key, or like bringing value, not even saying like, hire me. That's why I wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. Give value, give value, give value, and then say, hey, by the way, I do this for a living. LinkedIn is an incredible place for you. Incredible. I talked about LinkedIn at nausea on this platform and have continued to talk about it. How much LinkedIn content are you making? I'll save you time. None. Right?
I post about 3 times a week on LinkedIn, so I need to be posting.
Not bad. No, listen, honestly, I'm happier about that. That's a great number for you. I really thought it was going to be 0, but it's kind of like push-ups. Like 13's better than 3, and then the question becomes, what do you post? And for me, it's like, posting things like, here's how I think about providing the most value when I write music for someone. And then a manifesto, which gives me an insight on the other side of Vayner. Look, I run fucking VaynerX. We want to buy music all the time. If I see that in my stream, and this happens to me all the time, if I see that in the stream, I just hit the link and send it to our music rights buyer.
Cool.
This is just very important, right? Like when you've given me the answer to my question, in the question like you just did, then you fucking know what to do. Find a way to make it more fun for you so that you can fucking do more of it.
Perfect. Most of the people that I expose to on social media are musicians and songwriters, so they're not typically the clients that I would go to.
Let me teach you something that's gonna help a lot of people here. Thank you for saying that. The way I think about things is making content that the audience that I'm exposed to that is forwardable to the person I want to get to. Let me give you an example. I put out a lot of content around the mindset of parents really pushing college agenda on kids without really looking at their kid. I make the content specific to knowing the kind of thing that the kid that consumes it would share to their parent. When I make the content, I'm thinking, yes, kid, you're gonna see this, but I'm gonna make it in a way that's gonna make you share it to your parent. That's very different. So the content isn't like, hey kids, parents suck, right? Yeah, no. It's intricate so that it brings value to the parent. I'm making it for the parent, but I'm making it in a way that I know the kid's gonna be the one that sees it and will forward it to the parent. And the content will not make the parents say, fuck this guy, even though usually they do say that because there's such a big ideology of college. I need you to know that, okay, I have music people in front of me, but I'm gonna make this piece of content for them with the thought that they may be the gateway to bring me exposure to who I'm trying to get to.
So valuable. Thank you so much.
You see what I'm doing there? I'll give you an example. VaynerMedia has made content that's trying to reach 60-year-old dads, and we've made TikToks that we know 14-year-old daughters are gonna see and share it with their dad. There's a lot more strategy to the shit I do than people realize. That's an insight to it right there. You have to understand, businesses are just made up of people. Like for example, we don't even have a system to watch what our people are doing. I trust my people and I want good for them. I want them to be productive, but I want them to be happy. And if it makes them happy to tweet all day in between meetings, mazel tov. My father wants to ban cell phones in the liquor store. Because if somebody checks their text for 1 second to see if their mom or if their bus is on time, my dad loses his mind. That's on my time. Two very different men, me and my dad. There's no chance you're tweeting all day with Pops. You can fucking make unlimited content with me. And that's the world. there's a bunch of Sashas, there's a bunch of Garys. If you want to do what you just said, you better work for a fucking Gary. And if you don't right now, and it means so much to you to post, well, then you should start looking for another job. If you're good, then you're good. But that is it. It is that simple.
I like it. Yeah, because I want to start being able to, before I started listening to your content, I wasn't aware of the importance of building your brand, on social media. It was more of, while I'm at work, while I'm at coworkers, friends, building my brand in person with people that I interact with every day. But it's more, so once I started listening to what you talk about, it's like, okay, if I do one day want to start my own business, which I do, starting to build that process, but I kind of struggled with, I didn't want to do that all the time while I'm still working at a company.
Look, you also have to be respectful, right? Like doing the right thing is always the right thing. If you're getting paid and you're quietly like not working, we have some employees that are trying to be very clever at Vayner. And my big thing is like, A, I laugh because I'm like, do they think they're tricking me? B, I just want to say to them like, hey man, like hey gal, like doing the right thing is important. Like, like you will lose in the end when you don't do the right things. And so I think, finding the right balance on that is very important,
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I tell a lot of my business friends, I'm like, why are you mad at that person? You're fucking emailing them at all hours of the night, right? These people are supposed to work 9 to 5, 9 to 6. Like you're fucking hitting them at 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 6. Like, don't be on a fucking pedestal, business owner. Like your person might have, yes, spent 7 minutes. You might be on the clock right now and here we are, fine. But what about at 8:30 when you email them and they have to do something for 15 minutes? Like, people keeping score on some bullshit? Like, your employees are your family.
Yep.
And as a business owner, if you don't see it that way, you've already lost.